What up, guys? It's Kyle coming at you guys here again. Today, I'm going to teach you guys on how you can make a meal that I have had since I was a little kid from my grandma, from my Oma. Passed on to my mom. We had it there, and now we have brought it to our own family. It's basically chicken and dried beef. So let's get after it. Let me show you how to make it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get making this recipe that I really want to show you. Like I said, coming from my Oma to you guys here. But what I'm going to show you first is how to make dried beef. So yes, you can run to the store. You can go buy your own dried beef. Last I checked, it was 12, 13 bucks a pound is what dried beef was going for. I can make it out of a rump roast and bought it from Fairway for $5.99 a pound. Got 3 pounds, so $15 by the time it's done. For the same thing that I could go buy at the store. I like doing it myself. It's just something fun. If you guys choose not to, like I said, you can run to the store. So you can see already the seasonings that I have here. They're crushed, they're mixed together, and they're ready to be put onto the roast. You do what you want. I run mine through a grinder so it is very fine and put it all the way around. If you want to have it a little bit thicker, you can. You can keep your seasonings together. And the seasonings really, you have Morton's Tender Quick curing salt. That's what's going to make the meat safe to eat after 2 weeks of sitting in the refrigerator curing. But it also has brown pepper, black pepper, brown sugar, garlic, some bay leaves, chili peppers, dried chili peppers, and juniper berries. So I will put that into the comments so you guys can have that recipe on how you do it. So basically, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to pat seasoning all the way around it. Make sure with your roast that you're cutting off the fat that's either on the top, sides, bottoms, wherever there might be fat at, because you want that curing salt to get in and get through to the meat. And that's why it has to sit for 2 weeks. Once we get this thing all covered in our seasoning and our cure salt, what we're going to do is we're going to put it into the refrigerator. It's going to sit there for 12 days. Every day we have to rotate it. It's going to be in a bag. You're going to rotate it every day, kind of work those seasonings into the meat, just helps it along. So we'll be back here in, 12 days. So like just shy of 2 weeks. And then we can go slicing it. I'll tell you then what to do after that. All right, guys, we got that meat sitting in the refrigerator for the next 12 days here doing its thing. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to let you guys know a little bit of my mental health journey, if you want to call it that there. When I first started in law enforcement, I was like the old school guy. You rub dirt on it. Men don't cry. Men are men. We grab an axe and we go cut a tree so we can provide for the family. You don't cry. The suck it up buttercup type of attitude. Fast forward several years later, had a tragic call. It was absolutely horrible. It was shortly after I was promoted. I took the brunt end of, and it was me. I took the brunt end as I screwed up. And for several days after that, I would just be walking, doing my own thing, and just start bawling and couldn't understand it. Like, men don't cry. That was my mentality back then. And my wife is the one who said, you should go talk to a counselor. Went talk to a counselor. I left there almost disgruntled because men don't do that. That was not my attitude. I hated it. And I sucked it up. I pushed everything down. Fast forward several years later, and there were tragic things that happened since then, but you just pushed it down. Fast forward several years later, we had something that occurred in our life, and it sent me in a tailspin. A tailspin I couldn't get out for several weeks. I couldn't understand it, and started getting help because I needed to. And it was after that I went, your brain's no different than anything else. Your brain is no different than your heart, your liver, your kidneys, that if you have an issue, why wouldn't you get it fixed? And I got it fixed. Was able to move forward, was able to, see that mental health is huge, that your brain, you have no control over at times. I'm still learning on this, guys. I still have some of that old school mentality. I think therapy is good. I haven't broken out to do therapy yet. And I've often wondered, would that be beneficial? things that I'm still learning. So I want you guys to know, if you're that old school mentality where I used to be and you're going, Kyle, this is stupid, well, so be it. That's your call. If you're that new school mentality, you're like therapy and all this, and that's awesome. But if you're not open to share it, I respect that too, because it is tough. But I'm telling you guys, your brain is no different than any other organ in your body. So, hey guys, let's go take a look at the meat. It's been 12 days. Let's get her done. We're going to get her sliced up, and then I'm going to show you how to make the rest of it. Day 12, guys, we finally have made it here. It seemed like it took forever, but that's just kind of the fun part of the process. Got the smoker set to 130 degrees. Really, all you want to do is just start drying that meat out just a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, and going very low, very slow is going to do that. And that's why you put that cure on it, because if you didn't put the cure on it, the meat would go bad. You really don't want that. We're going to hit an internal temp of 135, and that's when we're going to pull it off. And I guess somewhere between 6 and 8 hours, and that's why I'm doing it early in the morning after I got off of work. So when I get up, it should be very close to being done. So let's get this thing onto the smoker so we can get ourselves some dried beef so that we can make Oma's meal. Once the meat hits 135 degrees internal temp, you got to put it into the refrigerator for 5 days. Like I said, rest easy, little buddy, because it takes 5 days to dry that out a little bit more. Hence first, the term dried beef. After 5 days, you're going to take it out. Now, I use a deli slicer to slice it as thin as possible. I only bought that because I do a lot of meat processing that requires a meat slicer. You don't have to. You can take a good sharp knife and cut it just as thin as you want, as thick as you want. You do you. Seriously, you do you. When you guys get that all sliced up, what you're going to do is layer a bottom of a 13 by 9 pan with dried beef. I think the recipe calls for 3 or 4 ounces or something like that. Just layer it so it's on the bottom. You're going to take 2, 3, 4 chicken breasts. Again, do whatever works for your guys' family here. You're going to wrap bacon around each one of those pieces. And then you are going to make a combination of sour cream and cream of mushroom soup and pour that over. Set your oven. Now I'm going to set my smoker. I haven't tried it on the smoker before. I am going to try it on the Green Mountain right back here. And I'm going to set it to 300 degrees. You guys can do this in the oven. That's how I grew up, was doing it in the oven. But it's 300 degrees for about 3 hours. Just make sure your chicken doesn't get overdone. Just pay attention to it. Once you're done with that, you guys can eat. You can serve. And I am telling you, this meal from my Oma to my mom to us to you is one of my favorites, just because it brings back the childhood memories that I had. So let's get her in the oven. Let's get her done so I can serve my family, and let's see how it tastes. I'd have to say the meal that we had here tonight, between the hoots and the hollers, was a hit. It was a good family meal. Now, I can't beat around the bush. I did have moments where I needed to woosah myself. Sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, and that happened. But I would say, in general, it was a good time. Now, the thing is, guys, you won't be able to have good times if you don't create family meals. They're huge. This video here definitely showed that, all the way from my Oma to my mom to now us sitting here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, make sure to like the video. If you'd like to share it, that would be awesome. But what would be huge is if you could subscribe to it, because I want to make sure that I'm continuing to bring you guys the opportunity to get your family together. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and we will see you the next time we get things bucking at the Gnome Grill.